Hi guys, this video will cover ACT09 English section. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so which are the most effective emphasize the complexity of paper sculptures? Intricate itself has a meaning of complexity, so A is okay. Delighted, each sculpture was left secretly and was later discovered by Steph. So delighted doesn't have subject here, so then we have to use the subject after the comma, but then each sculpture delighted doesn't make sense. So that's why F is wrong. Each sculpture was left secretly and then by delighted Steph. Left secret, so it sounds okay. Left secretly, each sculpture still like it doesn't work, right? Secretly delighted, each sculpture cannot delight it. So it's G. Dubbed. Dubbed is basically to call it as, right? So the poetry, it sounds okay. Yeah. I mean, something wrong with this one, we can change some other stuff. But then, it's not specified. Adorned. Not really decorated as and honored is obviously no. And then Edinburgh Film House Cinema, which is Edinburgh's three-dimensional sculpted scenes show at. So because of at, we just take this out. And sculptured scene is subject and shows bird. I think this is okay. Deer as a horse lives out as movie theater out of screen. Yeah, as horse, if you want to say horse, then you have to have a, but also still doesn't make sense in movie theater. Just like, I mean, in the movie, one horse lives, or so either you can have an A, so it doesn't make sense. Article A you need to have, and horses lives. This is nothing. Like this is not. This is something that um, like you have to have subject and verb to describe about the scene itself. So horses read. That's fine. Horses as a plural. Okay. And six is wrong because of apostrophe is. I mean D is wrong because apostrophe is. Scottish Storytelling Centre, a dragon crafted from the pages. Dragon crafted from the pages of mystery novel. Dragon crafted. So it modifies. That's fine. So more creations appeared at more than a few additional places where literature and artifacts are related to. Okay. More creations appeared at more than a few additional. More than a few additional. Sounds like really weird. More than a few additional places. Okay. Number of additional cultural institutions. This is too wordy. Quite a lot of. We don't use quite a lot of for writing. So it's like no. Several libraries and museums. Yeah, this is like really concise. So, and then therefore a total of 10 sculptures were bestowed on special institutions. Stuff are thrilled by their luck. Therefore, then cause and effect. There is no cause and effect we can find. Therefore, it doesn't work. And eventually, of course, however, eventually sounds best because whatever happened earlier and that eventually total of 10 sculptures. So because like previously we talked about whatever sculptures. The nine, the creator of these sculptures are, the creator is singular and R is supposed to be singular too. So creator of these sculptures is, this sculptures doesn't make sense, but this is singular and sculptures is plural, these sculptures. And 10, so far, that is, the last gift came with a note in which mystery artist reveals her gender, whatever, whoever. Oh, regardless who. Yeah, so this is like, more, I guess, this is like not a fragment for whatever part, and semicolon, right? Colon, and then our you intended. What is her gender? And you intended doesn't make sense. Her. Each gift came with a note expressing special gratitude for library books and words, ideas. Note expressing special gratitude. Each gift came with a note expressing special gratitude. Nothing wrong with this. Yeah. The preceding sentence, the paragraph, will primarily lose statement. Primarily lose if you delete this part. Each gift came with notes. Okay. Let's say writer. So B. Because it says that, her intention is clear. That intention is whatever described in the next sentence. But then if you take this part out, there's no explanation about that intention. The next one, ironically, the creator of these exquisite sculptures, who destroyed the book? Who destroyed the books? The creator is subject, and then destroy is verb. So if you have that in a who, it doesn't make sense. You have to have like subject and verb. So J. Cutting them up with, refreshing them. Cutting, refreshing. So it's end. Parallel structure. Next one, if we go, John Pollock, twins, building full-size book. All begin. Right, Pollock is. So we have with a single part. So as Pollock is likely to point out, is not an important idea, so we have to put two commas around and take it out. So G. So either it has to be G or H, but then I'll say like G is better because again it's not important idea. B, because the importance wise, two commas is like, also not important idea, but then If you want to like make it even less important, like that too. Oh, what am I doing? So B is wrong. It's supposed to be C. I was like looking at C and then circling B. So even less important thing we put two dash. So this is again this is additional information. I don't think any problem with that. Donation from. Donation from is one idea, so we cannot put comma. And company based Portugal. Then if you put comma at the end, the base is now modifies the main subject. That doesn't make sense. Finally tried. Got the donation and finally tried doesn't make sense. Next. First try was taken him and one other person more than. Then THEN is always wrong if you have a more, right? So then we can eliminate that first. Then years worth, years worth. G, year, you cannot say this one. Piles of corks threaten to take over Polak's apartment. Effective introduce. Okay, I think this is G, a D, because strategy that here template to assemble and then fasten each cluster and then bind cluster. All these things are dozen of friends expedites. All these things is like a strategy that you can think of as. 22, which choice provide more specific description? Pretty interesting, not specific. Certain same thing, so hexagonal is specific. To bind clusters together and shaping them. Shaping is to bind is not like a parallel structure. If you want to put ing here, you have to put ing here. If you want to put two here, you have to put two there as well. So binding to shape wrong. So C, ing. Or you can say two bind and two shape. 24 architectural sound doesn't find expedite this proper process. Doesn't expedite this proper. This is not proper process. Authentic, rigorous, green, rigorous, yeah. It's like challenging, hard, so that's why rigorous. In his childhood imagination, he had saw. Had saw is a past, not a participle, so it's wrong. He had a sin. Okay, sin you cannot you cannot use it by yourself. And if you say saw, then since subject is he, then you have to use himself. That's wrong. So that's why himself. So when do we use emphatic pronoun himself, herself, yourself, myself? All these things is when you have subject as I mean the same person. So in this case, he, so then we have to say himself. But at a length of 22 feet. Length of, but at a length of 22 feet. What is the problem with this? Yeah, there's no reason that you can put comma here, or this is not two independent clause, so we cannot put. And then because of at, we just like putting comma here because we indicate that this is adverbial in a phrase, and the subject is now starting here. Was best suited with well suited, better suited for, best suited as. Best suited. I think it's better suited for is better. Especially like for is the best one. Um, I guess the difference is when you say best suited, that's like, the case of where comparing more than two. But then in this case, just like, this one itself is better than one before. Yeah, we're not comparing. It's just like, think it as um, whatever situational, I guess. 2002, the company that had donated thousands of, then we don't have subject, that had, the company is subject, that had donated thousands of work to pull out projects, sponsored. So this part is modifying, you know, clause, and sponsor is now verb. So we cannot use which because we have to have a comma in front of sponsored if you want to put in which in comma. The same reason who doesn't make sense, and company is not person. So it's, 29 boat successfully journey on Douro River in the country of Portugal. Which river? We know this is all Portugal because previously they mentioned about all this thing. Also right here, Portugal. So you don't need to like mention it again. The writer wants to follow sentences. So remember, he said, made his daily pickup, and every quart counts. Every quart counts. Okay. So the cork is not even like, introduced in this case. So I mean, the whatever, it says bottle corks, but then that's not the cork that they're talking about in the building the boat. So count number of corks. Yeah, B sounds good because like staggering number of corks, and every one of them are also important. That's why it says eventually receive cork. And then that's why it's G. Always find a connection between lightning in the sand as my friend Anna and I walked sandy surface. Translucent white as a sudden southeastern New Mexico sand around us. We said southeastern New Mexico, and you don't need to put this one again. Okay, so the sand itself is good. If it delete this part, and then we don't know the sand itself, so this is not it. And then, like as the white sand is this dune, they already mentioned about translucent, so this B is wrong. Okay, 32. Thunderbolt, hollow, silica, blast, pressure as sand heated by the lightning blast melts and become. And become doesn't have subject here. That means you cannot put comma. So first of all, we can eliminate F and H first. And then between G and J, J is better because all of a sudden you cannot put parentheses here because heated by is one like idea, but you cannot put that. And then 33, which builds preceding sentence, emphasizing dramatic nature. Dramatic nature. Writing, we'll go right. Burn is most dramatic out of all this. And I told me that was more. She explained through that even experts rarely able to locate fully intact fulgurite. Even So though is like separate idea, right? So because if we have two different clauses, then you can actually lead another clause with a though as an opposite meaning. But in this case, though is however. So two commas around. Just G is the only one. Okay. And then move on to next. In Brittle glass tube break easily. What's relevant information is point? Occasionally. So break easily. That makes sense. Occasionally, after strong sustained wind or ship better soon, because so after this is just like an adverbial. And while if a while, then we can, this is like leaving the dependent clause, but then we only have one clause here. This is unbroken. This Fulbright. This is subject, and this is verb. And then showing is just like modifies the Fulbright itself. So this just delete this. Which the following sentence you better here best connects the preceding sentence to the information that follows in the paragraph. I scan the area, hopeful. This. Okay. Rain. With the wind. I think A and B is just like not relatable at all. But then here, um, the wind is previous sentence. The wind, and then right, and then wind is C, and then hopefully that just uncover itself is good because you don't need to put later part. There's already like I mentioned all this stuff. 39. Which choice effectively conclude the sentence? Okay. Show and find other trips. Look for. Okay. Their surface look like pieces of tree branches. Yeah, because um it says that whatever the the color range, like, and also it says I never recognize birds on any beach, and then it says on the surface they look like pieces of tree branches. So you see all those like different colors and everything. So, the interior though are smooth and clear glass. Interior, so surface. That's another like idea. Because though opposite to that too. That's why it actually like yeah, give us like idea of more specific evidence of that. Which choice makes clearest the light sporadic arrangement of bubbles in the glass. Bubbles in the glass. Okay. Tiny bubbles trapped in. So point is speckled. Not speckled because of bubble. Specks. Underlying portion would be formed by air. So what is formed by air is the bubbles are formed by air. So it has to be right after that. So unearth our treasure. Unearth our treasure. Or heaven on earth, that or the other one. On earth is okay. Because this is purpose. Why they stopped to unearth our treasures. But given But given our fourth request, delete the preceding one and say lose. What can you do? Stop the workers. But given work, find it in the desert on the beach. You want to keep searching. Under critical comment, I don't see any critical comment. Mildly scolding response. This is nothing to do. Light moment in the form of good nature joke. Anna laughed. Needed only stop. Okay, moment excitement. And I remembered that couldn't easily find this one. But even alright. I think between these two, but I'll say more of C because later part. But given her luck, because they're talking about Anna, her luck finding provide on desert on beaches. So already this is not about only local gift shop. It's more about everywhere. So 45, which following alternatives underlined, which is emphasized, the new information. Desert on beaches. New Mexico is the place where there are and yeah, so other places too. And planet Earth, wildest observatory, step aside this weather conditions at this facility, which sits atop its namesakes. This sits atop. Yeah, namesakes is peak. Because Mountain Washington Observatory is whatever they're describing about. And then New Hampshire, which New Hampshire, okay, facility, weather conditions. So subject is weather conditions. And now this is subject, which is plural. And because of because of two commas, we can take it out. And then this is verb, so plural verb that you have to have. So we need to have comma, and plural is be. And then though somewhat diminutive compared to plural. We never put comma in front of parentheses. If you have to put parentheses, then we can just take it out first. And then G or J, and then plural on peak. For example, is another abrupter, right? So that we have to put G. Mountain Washington is the tallest peak in the presidential range. Mountain, okay, given the choice accurate, which best uses comparison to emphasize that the weather on Mount Washington can be extreme. Okay. Mountain Washington is weather is nothing to do with this tallest. Much cooler summit. Extreme. Much cooler is not extreme. 7 average wind. Yeah, Antarctica is extreme. It's steep slope force. It's a steep slope. It's like steep slope is for subject and forces were plural. That's good. And then this has to be like because of comma here, and we have to have independent clause again. And speed. One of the bestest. Obviously, this one gone because we don't have subject verb after, and then we don't put comma in between. So this is not good. I think this is B because colon and then the dash is the exact same thing. So you don't need to worry about between these two. But this parentheses is wrong because 231 is important information. So you cannot take this out. So that's why just like, put the 231 there, but then, we shouldn't put parentheses. And again, colon or parentheses is the same thing, not because of that, but because of parentheses. I mean, colon and dash is the same thing. I'm sorry, colon and dash is the same thing. So not because of colon and dash, it's just like, parentheses is the one that makes it wrong. The observatory had also advanced scientists' understanding of clouds. The observatory, yeah, nothing wrong with this one. We don't need to put any of it. And in addition, it's the same thing with additionally and also. So these are all same meaning, so that you cannot choose one out of these three. Clouds of physics. Clouds of physics. Clouds of clouds. Clouds of ice physics. Clouds of ice physics. Understanding of clouds and ice physics and Eskimo bear. So of is actually wrong. So noun, and noun, comma, and noun. Conduct all this research. Staff are on site year-round. Observers who work this. Then who is wrong because we don't have main verb and subject. So this is not like, clause. So H. To change personnel in winter, though crews send. So if though is right and however also has to be right too. So because those two are exact same meaning. But now of course or nothing. To change personnel in winter, of course crews ascend mountain in a vehicle. No, just like when nothing. You don't need to have of course because there's nothing really of course, like nothing really certain that you can find. Crew ascend the mountain in the vehicle, gripping snow. We're describing about the vehicle, but if you put comma right after the vehicle, then this gripping is modifying, describing about crew's main subject. Then doesn't make sense. While gripping, same like it's gonna like describe about the main subject, so it doesn't work. That's good because that is a vehicle, so that is about how this vehicle is gripping snow. And then J is wrong too, the same reason. So if you put and, then grip actually like, describe about the crew. And then so I isolated the mountain Washington Observatory offer weather enthusiasts many ways to involve. Just with the research. Okay. So the bold can is the subject, and then take part is verb. So then you cannot put B or C because you have to have a comma in front of and then but. So that doesn't work. And then D is just comma's place. That's A. For those who are planning to make this okay, it's a choice contrast most directly with other ways of this contrast. Submit in the winter, planning make trip. For warm reply, yeah, warm is the contrast because of winter. 59, the writer is considering adding the following sentence in the essay. This information used to help create regional weather forecasts. So it has to be something with the weather. So it's something with the weather, but then this is nothing to do with the weather forecast. Just like in the, and also nothing, no like in a specific technology or anything that you can find. And B, although somewhat diminutive compared to mountain, more this is also a description of just weather itself. There's nothing special about what they can deal with. Let's see, observe outside better data, so for forecast is good. So see. Suppose the writer's main purpose has been described how mountain ranges affect weather patterns. Affect mountain ranges affect. No, this is like one observation. There's nothing like to do with mountain ranges effect. So it's nothing to do with the history overview. Yeah. Okay, the last passage. It's real. Can declare it's. There's no such a thing. As soon as you see it's after its apostrophe, there's nothing like that existing. Declare genuine article. The genuine article. C. Because you have to also find the connection to the genuine article. After apostrophe, I mean, something that is something can be, this is like too wordy for be redundant. And then because of genuine article, we cannot put it, because we have an article the there. That doesn't make sense. American engineer named, an American engineer. So we don't know this person, right? So that we cannot put comma because there are thousands of Canadian American engineers. So we have to specify. That's why no comma. 63 had a foreign studied mechanical engineering, revolutionized railroad and factory operation, affecting both incredibly with its dozens of patented products operation. But just D because a patented product itself is describing is affected both incredibly. So I mean, if it is not, I mean, also revolutionized is another one that it's that good, then obviously affects incredibly. So let's just while working. So there's no subject, right? Was working like Koi is working. So while has a meaning of then, so you don't need to have then. And then bearings and axles of train. Preceding sentence, the writer is considering revising the phrase assigned to work on. And this revised phrase accurate revise. Okay, assigned to work responsible for oiling. This is a specific idea, right? Because the work itself is specified by like oiling. So that's why it is specific in clearest connection. Yeah, clearest connection, which is the yeah, release oil there too. Motion substance, substantially reducing, substantially reducing number. Yeah, the number of maintenance stops. So this is describing about this, device itself. The device is reducing the number of maintenance. Yeah, that's good. And then if you put had, the effect of the problem is reducing becomes another subject, then it becomes comma splice. So only way that you can do is just like making it as parallel structure that is also finding about 68. McCoy apply the principles of this invention to other engineering challenges. Factories in the late 1800s, for example. No, nothing wrong with this. This is a specific idea that you know, whatever principles that they're talking about. Therefore, as the train, therefore many. No, this is part of the whatever example that they're talking about. There's no cosmic that you can find. The problem being there's no such thing that in that, manually McCoy recognizing, no, manually, as with a train, many machines' parts have been oiled manually. McCoy recognized similar this. So this is two commas around and designed. So that's good, no change. These innovations allow factories to give machines a certain timelessness. Okay, how the operation of factories and machines change as a result of invention. How? Okay. Timelessly, certain timelessness, it doesn't give you like a how. So rethink operation, run machine continuously, using machine differently. Timelessness is continuous, basically. So see. And then deleting the following phrase. As a result, profit. No, you shouldn't delete because like it actually connects to the idea that how this invention makes success. A positive effects. Which is success. Success rates and higher wage. No, profit is after you pay wage. 73. The micro invention is do it. Supposedly, factory owners who wants to product proven to do it would ask, do it. What is do it? And work well. Would ask the purchase was the real McCoy. Okay? Which choice best concludes the essay by reiterating means like, repeating the same idea. As its name became synonymous with equality and authenticity. That's good. So that's the main idea of it. Where you can find the main idea is basically at the end of here. So it actually is operating, affecting both incredible with dozens of patented products. So that's what how good it is, right? So that's why it's happening. The writer considered following truth statements: imitation, expected price of the office lower. That was our trend. Imitation was defined. So A original at best, imitation, why origin disputes, many people believe, expression was inspiring. Maybe would be, let's say, This has nothing to do with the imitation, the product itself. There's a number of arrangements that you're talking about. Please know. And C is micro innovation was instant success, not surprising other inventors inundated the market with a device, similar device. So D is supposed to be because like after they coming in and then they make the fake one. So imitation. Okay, that's it for the grammar. So I'll come back with the math as well. So see you soon. Bye.